In the world of anime, we've seen some absolutely mind-blowing power, right? Planet-shattering attacks, godlike abilities. But what if the most dangerous weapon out there isn't a sword or some energy blast, but just an idea? Today we're counting down the 10 characters with minds so sharp, so brilliant, they could literally rewrite the world. So, let's get into it.
But that kind of begs the question, what is intelligence really? Is it about acing every test, coming up with the perfect battle strategy, or is it something a little darker? You know, the ability to play with lives and entire empires like they're just pieces on a chessboard. Well, the characters on this list, they cover every shade of genius you can imagine, from the purely heroic to the downright terrifying.
Kicking off our list at number 10 is a guy who would probably call this whole thing a drag. Of course, I'm talking about Shikamaru Nara from Naruto. Now, don't let the constant yawning and lazy attitude fool you. Behind all that is a tactical supercomputer, a mind that's calculating hundreds of moves ahead while everyone else is still trying to figure out their first one.
I mean, his defining moment, facing Hidan, an immortal cult member who literally could not be killed. For most ninja, that's an impossible problem. But for Shikamaru, he didn't try to outpunch him, he outthought him. He methodically laid a trap that turned Hidan's own immortality into a permanent prison. It's just a perfect example of pure intellect beating raw, unstoppable power.
All right, at number 9, we're shifting gears from battlefield tactics to just pure encyclopedic knowledge. Meet Senku Ishigami from Dr. Stone. His enemy isn't some bad guy, it's the entire Stone Age. When he's thrown into a world with zero technology, Senku's brain becomes the single most valuable resource on the entire planet. It holds the blueprint to rebuild 2 million years of human history.
Just think about that for a second. The sheer scale of it. This isn't just about remembering a few formulas. It's about figuring out how to make glass from sand, how to build a steam engine from scratch, how to rediscover modern medicine. Senku doesn't just know science, he is science. He proves that knowledge is the literal engine that drives civilization forward.
Coming in at number 8, we have intelligence in the form of this quiet, silver-haired kid, Norman, from The Promised Neverland. He's trapped in this horrifyingly perfect-looking prison, and he becomes the strategist, the one spark of hope. He's got the mind of a chess grandmaster, except he's playing this lethal game where the pieces are the actual lives of his family.
You see, his real gift is foresight. While everyone else just sees the walls of their prison, Norman sees the entire system that built it. He's not just planning an escape, he's planning to tear down the whole oppressive structure, predicting his enemies' moves with this spooky accuracy and turning their own rules right back against them. All right, for number 7, we're jumping into a world where intelligence isn't just a useful tool, it's the absolute law of the land. This is Sora from No Game, No Life. For this guy, everything, and I mean everything, from politics to war with gods, it's all just a game. And his number 1 rule, there's no such thing as an unwinnable game.
And we're not talking about small-time opponents here. He's up against ancient, super powerful races, and yeah, literal gods. Sora's genius is his ability to just deconstruct any challenge into its basic parts, the rules, the probabilities, and the psychological weaknesses of his opponent. He doesn't just play the game, he breaks it, finding loopholes that even its creators never even thought of. Our number 6 pick is a character who would probably find being on this list completely pointless. It's Kiyotake Ionokuji from Classroom of the Elite. This guy is the ultimate puppet master. He's a manipulator so ridiculously skilled that his classmates, his teachers, and honestly, even us watching, we rarely see the strings being pulled until it's way too late. And that's exactly what makes him so chilling. He sees people not as friends or enemies, but as tools. Just tools to be used and then tossed aside. He engineers these complex social victories entirely from the shadows, all while keeping up this perfect act of being a totally average, bored student. His greatest weapon isn't what he does. It's the fact that no one ever knows he's doing anything at all. Okay, moving out of the dark world of manipulation and into the pure light of logic, we're cracking our top 5 with Kurisu Makise from Steins Gate. She's not a strategist or a puppeteer, she is a pure, brilliant scientist, a genius neuroscientist whose intellect is basically the only anchor in a complete storm of time travel paradoxes. You know, when she's faced with the impossible, a time machine made out of a microwave oven, it's her amazing mind that actually figures out the science behind it. She navigates causality, paradoxes, and the absolute heartbreak of shifting between world lines with this sharp logical mind that was pretty much the only thing standing between hope and total oblivion.
So we're heading back to the world of shinobi for our number 4 spot, and it's a man whose intellect was arguably even more feared than his Sharingan, Itachi Uchiha. He wasn't just another player in the conflicts of his era, he was a grandmaster, playing a game that spanned decades, where every single move was a calculated, painful sacrifice.
And that right there is the core of his tragic brilliance. His entire life was an act, a deception for a much greater cause. He put on the mask of a traitor, a murderer, a villain, all to manipulate huge events from behind the scenes. Even his own death wasn't a loss. It was his final, perfectly played move in a strategy he designed to save the entire world.
We've officially entered the God tier now. And at number 3 is a name that is absolutely legendary when it comes to anime intellect, Lawliet, the strange, candy-obsessed detective from Death Note. When a killer with the power of a god started changing the world, L was the only person on the entire planet smart enough to even think about challenging him.
L's mind is just a fortress of pure logic and deduction. His ability to read people, to analyze behavior, and make these incredible logical leaps is just unmatched. He wages war using data, probabilities, and a scarily accurate psychological profile of his opponent. He wasn't fighting a person, he was fighting an idea, a killer who was everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And you know what? He came so close to winning.
But see, in this massive game of chess, L wasn't just playing against some unknown enemy. He was hunting his perfect opposite, his intellectual shadow. And this rivalry would go on to become one of the greatest battles of wits in all of anime history. A war fought not with fists or powers, but with pure, raw intellect.
Which brings us, of course, to number 2, Light Yagami, the brilliant high school prodigy that L was hunting. When he got his hands on a notebook that gives him the power of life and death, Light didn't just see a tool to punish criminals. He saw his ticket to becoming a god. He is an absolute master of strategy, manipulation, and just a boundless ego.
I mean, just think about the sheer breathtaking arrogance of his plan. He wove a web of lies so complicated that he actually managed to join the police task force that was trying to catch him. He was literally hunting himself from the inside. He outsmarted L, the entire police force, and another notebook user, all while keeping up the image of being a perfect model student. He didn't just play the game, he basically created the board, wrote the rules, and moved every single piece.
So, who could possibly top that? Who could top the man who outsmarted the world's greatest detective and nearly became the god of a new world? Who could possibly be number 1?
The number 1 spot, it has to go to Lelouch Britannia, Lelouch Lamperouge from Code Geass. And here's why. If Light Yagami's chessboard was the country of Japan, Lelouch's chessboard was the entire planet. He didn't just manipulate a few people, he manipulated armies, global politics, and the very course of human history.
Lelouch is the ultimate mastermind. He takes a small group of rebels and turns them into an army that can challenge a global superpower. Every battle was a performance. Every loss was a calculated part of his plan. His entire rebellion was like a piece of grand theater, and it all led up to the Zero Requiem, a final, world-changing strategy so brilliant and so sacrificial, it is still one of the most jaw-dropping endings in all of anime. He didn't just win, he destroyed the whole game and built a better one from its ashes.
So there you have it, 10 incredible minds that could topple empires, challenge gods, and shape the destiny of the world. They all prove that at the end of the day, the most powerful weapon will always be the mind. But hey, that's just our list. Who did we miss? Who is your number 1 smartest character of all time? Let us know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.